Oh, here we go. Right? Everything's set. And that's over there, and this is over here. Let's see how it goes. Hey there, friends. That wasn't what I expected. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is November 5th. Remember, the 5th of November, 2024. We're going to write a little bit of code today. It's election day here in the States. Have you voted? I've got my voted sticker. I put it up here because if I put it on my sticker, on my shirt, you won't see it down here. So I put it on the hat, which feels like sacrilege to put something on my hats. But no matter, we're going to have fun today. We're going to write some code. I hope you're having an amazing day. If you're here in the States, make sure you take some time to get out there and vote. Fun fact, you can listen to the stream either on YouTube or on Twitch while you're at the polling place and you're waiting in line. If you haven't voted yet and you're waiting to vote in person. So check it out. It's okay. We'll hang with you the whole time. Let me say hello to our friends that are here in chat. They're right over there. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. Check it out. Look at how folks are chatting over here. Starting with Robert Stefan. Good afternoon and greetings to you. Thank you so much for tuning in, Robert from Romania. I saw your message on Discord last night. We'll talk about that a little bit. CTI Geek is here from Virginia. Happy election day to you. Great to see you. Billy Cool with a big wave. Digital Dummy, thank you for the big welcome back. Yeah, as we get into the end of the year, I try to roll out a new intro theme. If you go back over the history of the channel here, I think we've had 4 or 5 different intro themes. I have them all saved off. I buy licenses to them. The current song that you hear in the intro is it's a song I commissioned somebody to write specifically for me. Nobody else has it. So, like, I might do that again. I don't know. I might find something that works out very nicely for us. So, yeah, we roll through new intro music every now and again. But I've been using this same intro music for years and years. Not years and years, but for at least 2 years now. How you doing there, Phil Vesey? Good to see you. Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've got Nick Fury. But it feels patriotic without being outwardly America. So I'm okay with that. Agent of the system, a little bit. You voted, put sticker on the back of your laptop. Awesome. Lest kept secret. Hello to you. How's it going there, nerds? Welcome. Appreciate you joining us. You haven't voted, you're an international viewer. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But for our American friends that are watching, take some time and vote today if you haven't already mailed in a ballot or gone to early voting. Greenish Pepper, hello to you. Ragged Reese with the boop. How you doing there? Fuel Snable, how's the WordPress thing coming along? Slowly but surely. It's growing. It's going to be a long-term project that we dial in, we add features to, folks in the community help out with, and we move along. And there's a great addition that was added over the past few days. I've got a pull request queued up for you. I want to take a look at, I want to start talking about and get into some of those discussions about adding new features and capabilities. I'm going to get into talking about that today. Are we planning to put WordPress out of business? I wouldn't say we're planning to put WordPress out of business. I'd say that we're looking to build a content management system, a blog management system that is going to take some of the best things that we've learned from WordPress, both positive and negative, things that we really like that WordPress does, things that we don't like that WordPress does that we want to build better. We're going to build it with a little bit of .NET, a little bit of Blazor, see what we come up with. We're going to do it completely open source and allow anybody to contribute and have a good time going through and working on this. Hey, Dan Ardeline over there on YouTube. Hello to you. Welcome. You see the Restream bot pasting messages back and forth. Badger's here. How you doing there, Badger? CTI Geek says there will be long lines. Please plan on being in line for a while. So I went. I don't want to say I tailgated the election line. I didn't tailgate it. No, I showed up plenty early. Let me get music playing in the background here, and I'll tell you about my visit to the election line. I'm going to go with the synthwave playlist today because I just want a groovy playlist that's chill in the background while we're having some fun writing code together. Let's start with this song. This is called Kitchen Sink. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you want. YouTube, Twitch, doesn't matter. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for putting this music together that we're listening to today. So I didn't tailgate. We woke up at 5 this morning. So I've been awake for 4+ hours, 4.5 hours. And we made up some coffee, got some breakfast, went over to the polling place, parked in the car, and just, there was nobody else there. It was 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Nobody else was there. And we just kind of sat in the car for a little bit. Got to about 6:15. And here, where I live in Pennsylvania, the polls open at 7 a.m. So 6:15 came, and we got out of the car and went over. Sat down with our coffee at in line. First ones in line. I was the first one to vote for our precinct district for our polling place. And, sat there, enjoyed some coffee, and talked with the other folks as they were coming up to get in line and vote. It doesn't matter to me which way you lean, what your politics are. We don't like to talk about politics here on stream. But because everybody's welcome, and right now American politics are just too darn divisive. It's unfortunately it's something that has happened that our leaders need to dial back that temperature. And until they do that, it's a little bit too divisive to talk about politics anywhere. So, went through, voted, and we're done. We'll move on and see how it goes. In highly populated areas, you're probably going to see lines. Yep. Land of the Elite, you did the same thing. Opened at 7, and they had a decent long line by 8. There you go. Yeah. So, I got to turn off the Ubuntu. The Ubuntu message is still lingering out there from Stream Elements. Let me turn that off. Let's turn that off. And then I've got a couple things to tell you that I have planned. I've got planned. November is a spotty month for me. But that actually might be good for you. Here's the deal. After this week, I'm literally traveling right through until December. Yeah. I have, next week is .NET Conf. Next week is .NET Conf. I can't believe it. Make sure you tune in for .NET Conf. It's going to be a phenomenal event next week, okay? .NET Conf, of course, is our annual virtual event that my team at Microsoft produces. We deliver to introduce all the cool new things that are going on with .NET, and to make sure that the community has a voice in talking about all the awesome things that are out there that you can do with .NET, and that is going to make you happy, going to make you productive. So make sure you tune in. We've got Tuesday through Friday next week, okay? There is content. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all live, all right? You're going to have fantastic content on day 1 from the .NET team. Day 2 from other folks at Microsoft that are talking about different things you can do with .NET and Windows and Azure and Teams and so forth, okay? Day 3 is 24 hours straight, and it's all kinds of folks from around the community all over the world that are going to be talking about the cool things that they do with .NET in different ways that you can take your C#, your Blazor knowledge, what have you, and use it in other places and use different techniques and different things with it. Check it out, .NETconf.net, all right? Make sure you tune into it. We're broadcasting on Twitch, twitch.tv/Visual Studio. We're broadcasting on YouTube, youtube.com/DOTNET. Or just go to .NETconf.net. and we'll have an embedded video player there for you, okay? What's important to me is that wherever you are, doesn't matter what device you have, it doesn't matter what your internet connection is, you will be able to watch .NETConf live. Everything's recorded. Everything will be available immediately on YouTube as the full, long recorded video. You'll be able to go back and watch things later. We will have edited videos that are specific to each one of the sessions by middle of the week after. The week after .NETConf, it's Microsoft Ignite. I'll be in Chicago all week. And I'm going to try and broadcast from there. We'll see what happens. But I'll be live in Chicago. I've got a session I'm delivering. I literally have the last session of the event. We're going to be talking about upgrading your applications, adding AI, and taking advantage of cool new AI techniques and technology inside your app. Lots of fun. That's coming up in 2 weeks. The week after that, I'm going to be in New York City for the week. I have some time with family there. We're going to be celebrating the holiday. The week after that, yeah, I'm finally home. So I'm going to be hit or miss finding me here, but I will be lurking on Discord, talking about all kinds of stuff that's going on. So, let me see here. Digital Dummy says, in my country, we can vote early to avoid lines. You could vote early by mail here in the States. There were some people who thought that voting by mail early was a way to vote in person early because they would fill out their mail-in ballot at the Board of Elections office and turn it in right there. It's not exactly voting early because they don't actually process and cast your ballot. When you're voting in person at a polling place, you're actually casting the ballot. Like the ballot is counted right then. They can look at the back of the machine and see what the numbers are. That said, though, in Pennsylvania, they can't open all of those mail-in ballots. They aren't allowed to legally open them until 9 a.m. Eastern time. So about a half hour ago, when we started the stream, that's when they were finally able to open those ballots. It's a thing. It's a rule that the Republican legislature has enforced here in Pennsylvania. That's their call. That's what they want to do with it. Okay. We could be more productive with it. We could have results at 9 o'clock in 2 hours after the polls close. Nope. They do not want people to be able to review and vote and get those early numbers. Okay. Hello there, Innocent Tozeni. How you doing? Atrum. .NET C# update, removing if for and while statements to make some space for goto. What? What are you talking about? Do I like America or need change something? What? Who promised this $6,000 to start a business? I believe that's one of Kamala's policies. Yes, that she wants to do. So you can have go-to statements in C# if you'd like. Sure. And the voting has become a mess because of the vitriol and anger spewed by the Republican Party around it. This wasn't a problem for 220 years. Why is it all of a sudden a problem? We had candidates from both major parties win office, no problem, no questions asked. Everybody's okay with this. Everybody agrees with this for centuries. literally for 2 centuries. Now all of a sudden, because of one candidate, we don't trust anything. Is it the hundreds of thousands of people who have worked on polls and elections for the last 200 years that are the problem? Or is it the one candidate? Occam's razor tells me it's the one candidate. Methods are fancy go-to statements. I can agree with that. Using go-to statements gets so much hate. Go-to statements in object-oriented programming are completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary, because you can just set up more methods. Just set up another method. You don't really need a go-to statement. Just, there's a method. Go call that method. You don't need go-to. Why call go-to line 50 when you can just say, execute some other method? It just happens to be on line 50. So, methods do turn into fancy go-to statements when you look at the rendered bytecode. Regarding the PR you did on SharpSite, we're going to talk about that, Mythin. Do I happen to know how I can edit that HTML statement with the appropriate language? I do. We'll come back to that. Absolutely, Mythin. Yes. Because we did something similar inside of ClipTalk. So we will borrow that technique. The two-party model is problematic. Hasn't been a problem for 200 plus years. Hasn't been a problem. Aren't they the lowest level that all the instructs are coming from? No. You remember using go-to statements in BASIC? Eddie Dre, hell you doing there, Eddie? Space Jocks with the Risk
Steve
PC.
_ Elliot just
Steve!
resubscribed for
Steve!
52
Steve!
months.
Steve!
Good morning.
Steve! Thank you so much. How you doing there, Dr. Cox? Good to see you. 52 months with us. Thank you so much. Why not create a class and each method has a label, and in the main we could do the go-to? Really? Just call the method directly. You may or may not borrow it, and Mythin, that's exactly why I'm doing SharpSite as an open source project like this, so that techniques like that we can highlight, discuss, write a blog post about, maybe a YouTube video, share, and other folks learn from it. That's exactly why. And thank you for pointing that out, because I want you to be able to do that. Yes, indeed. Let me see here. While it's been a problem for a long time, it's also not been this divided as it is currently. It's divided this way because of one candidate. You're absolutely right. And for the last, let's call it what it is. For the last 16 years, since he ran his mouth about his predecessor and spewed hate about him, demanding to see a birth certificate and creating the movement that is not exactly the most friendly or helpful around things. I think we can... What? I think when we get on the other side of this, things are going to change significantly. So, I don't think it's even binary right now. I think what has happened is one party has turned very hateful towards anything that isn't them, and the other is reacting. Like, really? Okay. So, I don't want to talk about politics going through today's stream. I want to have some fun and build something here together. So I'm going to move on from that topic. Atrum. Mythins has been playing a lot with With Blazor lately, as far as I understand right now, is that you will only need the client project if you'd be willing to make it also available as a PWA. Yes, and we're not at a decision point with that yet, but yes, and when we get to that point of architecture, there's definitely going to be some good decision on that. Apricot is here from Ukraine. Hello. Do I know and use Python for some automation? I know a little bit of Python, and no, I don't use it. Just read in pragmatic programmist suggestion to learn one new programming language each month. Each month is a lot. Each month is a lot. I don't. That's over the top. Learning a new programming language every 3 to 6 months, sure. Each month is a lot. You're going to run out of programming languages in the first year. Like, you're gonna get to an edge point at the end of the first year, and you're gonna go, why am I learning this? So, or learn one programming language really, really well. That's what I've done. So, no audio on a train to Stockholm, says Thindall from the .NET compound, the Coding After Work headquarters. Great to see you, Thindall. I hope you're having a good one. Let's talk about async again. Yeah. Canius, hello. New name? New name. Okay. You'd like a new name? You'd like a new name, or you have a new name? Welcome in. What is today's plan to in progress? So we have a community pull request we're going to take a look at that's going to start introducing localization. Something that we've talked about, something that we've recognized, we realize is that a lot of code that you see out there, unfortunately, is very American-centric. And we want to make this framework a little bit more robust and friendly for folks from whatever part of the world, whatever culture, so that you can use it to build and develop a blog for folks that speak your language, that are from your part of the world. So, we have a pull request that starts the localization and globalization features. We'll take a look at that. We'll dive back in and keep working on building custom pages for the application, and hopefully we get to building some GitHub actions today that start generating containers for us. So that's where I want to go today. Ice cream stick model. So, Space Jocks just obtained access to a Udemy business account, and I'm wondering if anyone has any recommended courses I should look into so you can learn ASP.NET Core using MVC. There's a series of videos on the .NET YouTube channel that you can dial into from me teaching MVC. And those are free. That's free. YouTube.com/.net. Click into the playlist and look for Learn C# with C# Fritz. That's me. And I talk about learning ASP.NET MVC. You can take a look at that. I don't have any specific Udemy courses that I would recommend. So, Badger says you should focus on learning fundamentals of programming. Yes. I agree very much of that. Did I figure out the delay issue? There was a compatibility application that runs when Windows applies a patch. Because my machine had been shut off overnight, was literally running like crazy nonstop and had seized all of the processor. I've shut that off. I have it running only once overnight at 3 in the morning, and shift that off to the side, and it's not a problem.
Napalm Codes just resubscribed for 29 months.
Thank you so much. 29 months of support. Much appreciated. Someone very good said to learn a programming language every year. I can buy that, Dan Lupp. I can buy learning a programming language every year. Yeah. Every year, every 6 months, depending on your appetite for it. Sure. But what are you going to do with that? Is what the pragmatic side of me asks. It's a good thing to learn. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. Go and learn. You're going to reach a point in your career, though, where you're going to go, why did I learn, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a programming language to pick on. Why did I learn PHP? I don't use it in my career. I don't use it for hobby things. I know PHP, but I don't use it, right? Programming languages are very much like spoken languages in that if you don't use it, you lose it. So, right, there's that out there to make sure that you're aware of. It's good to be exposed to other programming languages. No doubt. No doubt. It's not going to... knowing and learning other programming languages, many other programming languages, is not going to land you a job. Knowing programming languages in a framework very well is. So, so any suggestions for how you could write raw SQL queries for a C# app? Dapper. Use the Dapper micro framework, DAPPER. That will help you write with raw SQL, no entity framework, and you'll be able to hit and work with the database very easily. The other thing to keep in mind, I like to put Dapper behind a repository pattern, because if for some reason you decide to move off of Dapper to something else, some other data access framework, or you decide to move your database somewhere else and you need to use a microservice to access it, you're still using the same repository pattern to access it, and your entire front end doesn't change. Let's run that hat command again. I know it knows this hat. I don't know why it doesn't. It's Weird
Dev just resubscribed for 6 months. Code and more code. Woot.
There we go. The problem with learning multiple languages instead of one, you only get very surface level only. That's where I think you should get into not just the language, but the frameworks that allow you to do something productive. Build the same app over and over again. We're in an ad break. Ads just ended. Welcome back. Don't just learn a language, but learn the frameworks and maybe build the same app over and over again in those different tools.
Sean _the_sheep_me out cheered 50. Fritz, I started to get in demand for my full stack dev and Blazor machine learning API.
Terrific. Hey, that's great. Best of luck to you. Fantastic to hear that. UNESCO says deep levels of language. When you get there's points in your career where you're going to decide that it makes sense to go deeper on the language. Yes. And I can't tell you exactly when that is. You'll figure it out and go, maybe I should spend more time going deep on this. I was Visual Basic when I first came out of college. I was big on Visual Basic and JavaScript. I could take that Visual Basic knowledge and reuse it in Visual Basic for applications, in VB script. So I learned one language, and I could use it in multiple different ways in different locations. And I learned a little bit of C++, and I started learning Java as .NET's coming out. And I'm like, all right, well, let's go learn C#. Learned C#, fell in love with it, and I've stuck with it since. But, of course, I know HTML, SQL, JavaScript, CSS, in addition to C#, and how many different C# frameworks that go along with that, right? So, foundational knowledge is very important. Why did you learn Go? So, Go is one that I would like to spend some time with. Go through the Go book. You've forgotten it because you haven't used it exactly. So, you had 5 languages in 4 years at Academy. Oh, that's a lot. Don't do raw SQL queries. Don't use Dapper. Why not? Only a Sith speaks in absolutes. Why not? justify that statement. I think there's opportunities to do a little bit of both. There's times where I'm not going to do so much a raw SQL query, but I'm going to execute a stored procedure. And that lets me put all of the process and abstraction for what I want to be done in the database. Now I have an abstraction from my abstraction. I have a repository pattern that calls into a stored procedure. The repository pattern can be called abstractly from wherever, and it just knows the data that it's getting back. The stored procedure doesn't know exactly what tables and things in the code that it's going to return. It just knows the shape of the data it's getting. Inside the database, now my database administrator, now my folks that work with data, can tune and tweak and optimize indexes in the query that's living inside that stored procedure so it returns the data properly, and so on and so forth. So abstractions on top of abstractions, not a bad thing. There are times when the app is so big that it takes a lot of time to recompile. Wondering if there was a chance to have them somewhere where recompile is not required. So you could certainly put them out put those statements out somewhere in a file so that you can reload. Here's the SQL statement for this. You could do that, but that's kind of weird. I do like the idea of moving things then into a stored procedure so you can tweak and tune in the database where it needs to be tweaked and tuned. Hey there, Peon. What am I up to? Nothing. What are you up to? How's things? Recently been toying with back-end server stuff, says Etrium. Etrium? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Everyone telling me to use a database, but I only ever need to load one file per user and then write the changes when saving. What would be the issue of just relying on a file system when having a server writing files directly to disk? Contention. If you're writing, the file system can only write so much content to disk at the same time. That's a physical limitation of the disk. You'll run into contention. So you need to manage that. That's where a database comes in. A database will manage that and optimize for how and when it writes to disk, that persistence. That said, there are ways to work around so that you can do writing one file to disk, right? If you use a system like blob storage that's available on Azure, S3 out on Amazon, you can write one file per disk, but you're handing it off to a massive globally scaled system that knows how to manage that. If you're just writing to a server, at some point you can overwhelm the file system, because remember, that file system isn't just writing to disk, it's also reading from disk to present your application. So it's possible to overwhelm the amount of writes that the disk needs to do. Like I said, there's ways to queue that up, there's ways to schedule it, but this is where a database is going to be able to handle and make that problem just go away for you. So, C# Fritz without C# wouldn't make sense. Facts. Can I learn Rust? I can learn Rust. Why would I learn Rust? Like, Napalm says Go was fun, but I don't have a use for it. See, that's the question. That's the pragmatic part of me, is I don't have a use for a low-level language like this. I agree with stored procedure. You hit moments in dev time where the manager was not happy going the stored procedure route. Then you're going to recompile your app. Either that or write lists, write some sort of a dictionary where you're going to load the SQL from somewhere else. But now you're not protecting that content. Now that content somewhere else can get corrupted. You went for a few interviews. Lots of people are interested in Blazor. I like to hear that, Sean. I like hearing that. So, very cool. All right, let's do this. Here's the deal. Let's get out. I've got my Gunner glasses here. I've got my Marins. Love these glasses. Get these on. There's a big sale coming up. It's going on right now at Gunner. They're literally, you're going to get glasses for Low prices, big sales. There's a Black Friday special coming up. Check it out at gunner.com. I am an ambassador. I do have a discount code just below if you want to check that out. You click over there. Big thanks to the folks at Gunner for their support of the live stream. So, hey, Chris Jones, good to see you. Yeah, Black November. You see a lot of folks doing a Black November promotion. That's kind of cool. I get it. So, I don't know why the right side of the keyboard, the lights keep turning off here. So, a couple things. We've had a lot of fun building on Linux over the last month. I think I want to continue doing that. I think I want to continue doing that for a little bit. Build a builder. I don't suppose your name is Bob. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. It's Bob Build a Builder. Is that right? Good to see you. Thank you. Let's get some code going. Agreed. So I want to continue on Linux. I fixed my prompt. I want to take a minute and take a look at Basecore and see if I can get some of the keystrokes for tmux running off the Digma Defy and see how that works. Hey, Eric, have I tried the new GitHub Copilot chat? No. I don't have access to it. So, which is going to be a problem because they want me to demo some of those features as part of Microsoft Ignite. Like, nope, they have not given me access to it. There's features, like they're sprinkling the Copilot icon in various places where it's in places where I look at it and think, I don't want you to AI this thing. Like, there's places in GitHub where, oh, just click this and ask it to generate a block of code for you. Like, that feels a little weird to me. I'm not used to that yet. I'll get there, but I'm not used to it yet. Not Bob. You get that all the time. All right. But nice to meet you, Build a Builder. Thank you for tuning in. You have the personal edition, and it's in the plugin. So I get things rolled out to me at different times because I'm on the employee plan. Can I phrase it like that? It's not. I guess that's kind of a thing. One second. Okay. So there's a brand new. I can tell you this. Get in a little bit closer here, friends. I'm going to let you in on a secret. There's a brand new Beginner's Guide to Getting Started with .NET Aspire video series that's about to go live. It's 7 videos that I recorded right over there, doing my stand-up weatherman style presentation, teaching about how to use, not just how to use, but what .NET Aspire is and how to get started, all right? That's going to be coming out on the .NET YouTube probably next week. They're doing the final edits back at the studio now. It's weird. I've got a studio, full studio here with great audio and things. I think I have good audio. And green screen and all that. And I send everything to the studio out in Seattle, out on the West Coast. They put it together, edit it, and get it published for us. So, you have a question for me? Go for it. Is the Digma Defy worth the price tag? I do spend 8 to 10 hours a day coding. Don't know why I'm hesitant, other than $700 is steep for the top model. Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Build a Builder. Where is that? Right there. Totally agree. You don't have to buy all the things. You don't have to get all of the extras for that go with the Digma Defy. You don't need to do that right out of the gate. So when you boil that down and you get your favorite type of mechanical keyboard switch and a base set of keys, it ends up being like $350. If you want the customized, right, they just released custom color plates and customized versions of the Digma Defy. Looks really, really good. I wanted to get the purple one, and they're already sold out. Anyways, I would look at. I don't think it's going to pull it, Chris. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't grabbing it earlier. Let's do this. Let me reset it. And we'll try one more time here. Yeah. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. I got nothing. Hat not found. It's worth it at even talking $350. Very much worth it. I need to do a review video. Very much worth it. I'm going to do some configuring of the keys before we dig in too far here. I think there's a lot. There's a lot that we can do with them. I love being able to switch from typing mode to coding mode to gaming mode with different layers, and they're just different switches on the keyboard. There's a freedom that you get with the connections to it, to the keyboard, because you can be either completely hardwired, RF radio connected, which is very nice to be able to do and not have to think about my connection going back to it, or I can go Bluetooth and connect to any Bluetooth-enabled device that supports a keyboard. So I've used my Digma Defy with a tablet, with my phone, and laptops, desktops. Really nice to have that freedom. So I've also done the Digma Defy Bluetooth connection while wearing my Meta Quest headset and working off of my laptop. So the laptop is sitting over there on the desk. I've got the wireless keyboard sitting in front of me. I've got the VR headset on with the Bluetooth mouse, and I'm completely wireless, sitting back in a lounge, in a recliner, and I'm keyboarding and typing and doing my thing, and I've got 5 virtual screens in front of me. So cool. So cool. Lots of flexibility that you have with the Digma Defy, and it comes with a really, really nice case. Yes, audio issues were related to a Windows update thing that was running out of control in the background. You hope there's a Black Friday discount? I think it's coming. Lucky Luke asks, are there any plans for a successor of .NET? I don't have visibility to that level of planning discussions. So at my level of interaction, I can confidently say no. They're going to continue evolving .NET for at least into .NET 10. You're going to start to hear plans, what the plans are for .NET 10 in the next month or two. Start to. Very early on to have those discussions, but there are no concepts for a successor. Plan with the server writing to the file system, says Itram, is to reduce database read-write operations to only be start and end of sessions. So if I have a few thousand users, they all hopefully don't all end their sessions at the same time, but I have to manually add safety guards. If I get over the read-write capacity for worst case, while a database just automatically handles this. Yes, database just automatically handles it for you. Yeah. You can certainly read that data at startup, read that data that you would persist into a file, and you could write it into a Redis cache that's running in memory. And now you don't have any contention that you would have writing to the file system, and reading from a Redis cache is much, much faster. So at system boot up time, right, do some sort of warm-up process that loads the data from the database and populates Redis. And, right, you can set up Redis with callbacks that as something is about to time out, write it to disk. You can do things like that as well. Lots of options available. A Redis cache is a very flexible thing. that will allow you to read and write data at high speeds. So, you do feel that you should try to buy one? So, Build a Builder, the folks at Digma sent me my keyboard, and we'll have it on screen here in a minute. There is a link just below if you want to use that to let them know that you came from here. There's no discount applied, but lets them know that you saw and you learned about Digma more on my channel. You want a new keyboard, but your wife will quickly interject that I already have one. I ran into that too, Space Jocks, but here's what happened with me. I got the new keyboard. St. Jude sent me a new keyboard for one of the events we did one year. And really cool keyboard with the RGB lighting and all that. And my wife saw it and said, hey, that's a really cool keyboard. I'm taking it to my office. So now she has it at her office. Like, you aspired to looking forward to those videos? Yeah, there you go. I think the voted sticker is interfering with the identification. How you doing there? Still Garf. Welcome. Yeah, .NET X? I don't know about that. What app do I use for having multiple displays? Asks Apricot. I use Immersed VR. I'll bring it up over here. I've shown this, and we've actually gone through and used the app on stream. There it is right there. So you can turn on the pass-through so that you can see around and use your desktop. There's a bunch of different headsets that it works with. The Quest 3 of these is the cheapest to get started with, and it does an amazing job connecting and working over there. And you can also do interacting with other folks live in VR space. So, really cool stuff. Immersed.com is where you can find that. Powershell Freak is here.
Powershell_Freak just resubscribed for 58 months.
58 months. Thank you so much for that support. I'm going to... I haven't read that yet, but I'm going to allow that. What do I think the best solution is? Server-side filtering with .NET Core and EF with a React front end. What do I think the best solution to it is? What issue are you having? Let's start there. Server-side filtering with .NET Core and EF with a React front end. I mean, you can certainly set up things like GraphQL. You can set up things like OData, but you're going to run into the same types of performance and I don't want to say security, but the same constraints around it that you're going to have to deal with. Powershell Freak with the gift subs.
Gifted 5 subs.
Thank you so much. 5 gift subs into the channel. Really appreciate that. Big congratulations to Genji254, Lenid, Dobrev, Photo Froggy, and Venenio. Congratulations on the gift subs. Thank you so much. And I'll make donations to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. So, Zerk, if you're building and you want to do that type of server-side filtering, you can certainly set up GraphQL. There are libraries that will enable it. I like to be more focused and constrained in how I set up those APIs. And using LINQ with an iQueryable interface going back to the database will help you to build and structure and have a little bit of flexibility in building your filtering. So, Mrs. Funk says you have too many keyboards, Chris. Oh, man. And Eddie likes Redis caching. Redis is mighty nice. Is it gimmicky or actually useful? It is very useful. There it is right there. There's mine. You see some of the lights and things, the RGB lights that I have here. And I've got different lights for different layers. This is my navigation layer that has some coding keys set up here. I also have a layer here that has angle brackets set up over here. I have parentheses here, square brackets up here, and then curly braces down here with slashes in each direction so that it's easy for me to type HTML and jump right into writing tags and a bunch of other keys for different symbols. I also have that's not it. No. So when I'm on this mode, I have these other keys set up to do Visual Studio things. So I can jump right into doing that. But what I'd like to do is take some time and take this navigation, this navigation model that I have here, and I think I want to take these 4 buttons here, or at least these 3 down here underneath the directions, and I think I want to turn them into buttons to help me with TMUX. I think we're going to do a little bit of that real quick before we get into doing some other coding here. But it is, I think it's very useful, Peon. That sounds weird for me to say. I think is it Digma Labs com? I think that's it, right? Or not? Digma Defy. Or is it just Digma.com? It's Digma.com. Yeah, see that? There you go. So without a doubt, it is expensive. It is a premium device that has a ton of features on it, though. All aluminum, magnetic palm pads. Look, I can pop it off, wash it, and it magnets right back on there. So when you get into a sweaty gaming session, yeah. I even have a configuration set up here so I can jump in and I have all of my Overwatch commands and keys over here, and I moved WASD over so that it's right under my fingers here, and I don't have to move, and I can jump right back to typing with that key. So that's kind of nice to be able to switch back and forth from gaming mode. There you go. You can see the keyboard a little bit better there. Digma.com. Big thanks to them for supplying the keyboard that I'm using. But they don't pay me. They supplied a keyboard because I was looking for a new keyboard, and quite frankly, it's nice. Oh, and it does tilt up. So, has anyone ever encountered a situation where they needed a good language detector library? You need to detect languages for multiple strings. Are you talking about a written language, or are you talking about a programming language? Confusing Norwegian and Danish. Okay, so you're talking about a spoken or a written language. I haven't seen a good detector language. One last question about the server DB, says Eatrum. Let me go back to over here so we can see your questions. In terms of raw speed, would Redis and or databases be faster at reading a raw byte array than reading that from disk? Redis would be much faster. Much faster. It keeps it in memory. You're going to see like not just single digit milliseconds, you're going to see microseconds to access that data. So, yeah. Hey, Powershell Freak, doing fantastic. So, much appreciate. Thank you for those gift subs. Let me see. I see the Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian going back and forth here. How can Redis keep all player data in memory? It does. It allocates and keeps things running in memory. That's what Redis does. It is a key value store in memory that runs quite nicely. So that's a thing. Ads are starting in about 30 seconds. Ads. Oh, ads. Let me head back over here. There's the keyboard. So, does Azure provide a vector database service? There's multiple. Yes. There are multiple. You can certainly run, quadrants over there. Pinecone can run on there. So, and you can run whatever you'd like inside of a container as well. So, yes, they are over there and you can use them. And there's more coming. And there's more features coming. So, I am just keeping up with... what the hell happened here? All right, let's There's things happening over here with SharpSight. I wanted to jump into BaseCore real quick. This is the configuration for the Defy keyboard. They're really easy to use. Gives you a complete map of here's what the keyboard looks like. And you can choose the keys down here to set up various interactions. If I go back over here, yeah, let's look at tmux.conf, right? So I've got my configuration written out here for tmux, right? tmux lets you do some really, really cool multi-windowing inside the console. And I look at this and I think, I really want, because of the way that I have the keyboard mapped, I really want to move some of these so that it's easier to jump right in and activate and do some of these. So, like, I set Control A as my activator keystroke, right? Control A, and then it'll let me jump into doing other commands. So Control A, and then I can do vertical pipe to split horizontally so that I get two windows next to each other, two panes next to each other. Hyphen, and it'll split horizontally so I get one pane at the top and one at the bottom. So I'm thinking I might be able to just move them into over here, into this row, to do Control A vertical, Control A horizontal, to do that splitting. Let's see what happens with that. So that's on my, I think it's layer 2. Nope, layer 3. I could put it on layer 2. Right, and I have these two macros out here that these two call that, quite frankly, I forget what they do. So there, what was it, macro 7? Yeah, it does public and private typing. I don't know. It's kind of an, I don't know about it. You need to pay for 2 terabytes of memory instead of 2 terabytes of drive space? Oh my gosh, that's a, are you sure? That's a lot of space. Are you sure you need terabytes of space? Pre-roll ads are disabled now. Very new to backend. Okay. Like, what are you storing in 2 terabytes? That's a lot of data. Like, you're in 2 terabytes of space. You're literally storing a couple thousand Blu-ray videos worth of data at full 4K fidelity. So let's talk about that, because I don't think you need that much space. Like, I think we need to evaluate what's going on there. This is where I have my symbols. I could put some of those navigations items in here. Right? To split and move things around. Like, if I put them right, it's always weird to reach down. And I press the green here, right? And it's not, it doesn't, I don't have it set to tap and hold to get in there. Right? It's when you hold it down, it jumps over there and then I can do something. So maybe, what if I put, let's just try putting here. Right, so if I hold that and tap down here, I could make that Control A. Can I do Control A, and then, right, because right now, if I want to do Control A, it's hold here and then A. And then I'm into some, right, so let's open another tab here. There we go. Right, if I want to open, right, so we open Tmux, and if I want to open another tab, right, it's Control A, C, and it opens another Control A, W. But I could put that on various hotkeys around here to interact, right? The thumb clusters, right, Dead Air? Oh, it's so good. I haven't worked with DevBox. No performance issues. Our friend Carl Franklin, if you watch the Blazor Puzzle podcast featuring Carl Franklin and myself, all of the code and stuff that you see there, that's on a DevBox. So, hey, Deflux. RPG player data is quite a bit of storage space. I would suggest you're not storing player data optimally. I would suggest. How many players do you have in your system? The largest MMO, World of Warcraft, at its busiest had 20 million subscribers. 25 million subscribers. If each one of them stored a megabyte of data, they'd be at 20 terabytes of data. That said, though, they didn't store 20 terabytes of data on one server. It was scattered. That helps with redundancy. That helps for failover scenarios. So, I'd want to revisit your architecture decisions, because I think when you get into Redis and you do want to expand that, you can set up a cluster of those so that you can scale further. If you're talking about your first 100,000, 5,000 players, you've still got plenty of ways to grow, and you can add more servers into the cluster. So, using Redis has options. Oh, I'm glad you like the keyboard still, Garth. The keyboard is easily the best on the market. Land of Elite, thank you. Seems game space needs to go big. No. If Microsoft adds World of Warcraft to Game Pass and made it so they pay for WoW and get a bunch of other games for free, is a massive W for all. Did you see Land of the Elite that they didn't add it to the Game Pass, but they didn't add it, but they added Overwatch to the Game Pass. If you have Xbox Game Pass, each month you get 6 free skins. Boom, 6 free skins. That's nice. Plus, there's an extra area of the Overwatch store that's available with other stuff if you have Game Pass. Even if it is that big, you don't need to load every player's data into Redis. Totally agree. Use it as an intermediary cache. Dead Air X has an Ergo Docs. Absolutely loves it. I have a hard time finding other layouts that you can switch to. So this does the... There are stands on the back so you can tilt it if you'd like. Are any of these thumb keys a stretch to reach? I think over here, this one is a little bit. These two I said is my enter key, and they're pretty good. So I do like that. But if I were to go back over here, like, if I'm in here, I can't let go and hit another thumb at that point, right? I'm holding it down to get into here. So if I make these two, right? Maybe I make these two the splits, because I don't split that often, right? So let's try taking this and... Oh, it doesn't let me jump into a macro. And it doesn't remember my macro names because I created the macros somewhere else. Let's add another. Look at the memory usage. 4%. Plenty of room. Let's call this tmux split. Just call this I can just call this like tx horizontal. The problem is it won't display completely on the key in the map. Keys, special functions. Can I do the record? So for splitting horizontal is vertical pipe. Let's do this. Right? So yeah, start recording. And if I do Control A, and I forget where I put vertical pipe. Whatever, doesn't matter. Stop. Add to the timeline. Okay. Stop. Why are you all... Let me take this. And let me change... Why is everything like... There we go. Alright. So let me take this. And... Can I change the key? No. Right, I think I have... Is it here? No. This one? No. That one? No. It's not that one. That's one of the others. No. No. There it was. See, I don't use vertical pipe enough. So, add that to the timeline. There we go. No. No. Do I... Really? Alright. Save that for now. Look back over here. What a mess. Who wrote this? I need a vertical pipe. I don't have one. So let's take you. And make it vertical pipe. No. Yeah, vertical pipe, there it is. And we need to put a color on that, so let's put a color on that. Let's make it, see, vertical pipe. Yeah, it's right there. I don't know. Sure. All right, so I've got that. So now go back over to the macro. All right, take this. So if I just do this, start recording, it's over here, and I made it that. Cool. Add it to the timeline. I guess? I don't know. Let's save that. Back over to the keyboard. Go back to this layer. No, not that one. This one. And I'm going to make this one that macro. See? Macro. tmux horizontal. And I think that's good. So let's go... Yeah. Set a color on that, John. And I'll make it red. I feel like I'm missing a color in that. Yeah, make it red. All right. So that's saved. So if I go back over here. So here I am in tmux world. Yeah, look at that. All right. All right. Right. That's just weird. So now I need like a close, right? So I've got horizontal. So let's take this one and make it the same thing, but vertical, right? So we'll add this. And TX. What? Oh, I'm vertical split. Cool. And we'll record this one. So that's going to be Control A hyphen. Add it to the timeline. Don't like. There we go. Cool. All right, save that, John. Back over here. Back to this layer, and I'm going to take here macros. TX vertical. There we go. Put a color on that. Make it red. Yeah, there we go. All right. All right. Cool. So I've got that little bit. Where do I have my arrow keys mapped? So I have my arrow keys mapped. It might be easier to show in base core. They are here on layer 3 over here on the right side. But while I have the arrows over here directly under my fingers, I have Control, Alt, and Shift set up over here so that I can jump right into, right, Control moving around. Home and End, I can bounce into those real quick. So, hey, Code with Sean. Hello. HJKL would be your arrows for this keyboard. And, right, you can do that, right? Turn it on so it's an accelerator that jumps you into that, right? So, if you take a look at the accelerator key that I have down here, so this goes into, this is a layer accelerator that goes into layer 3 right here. So I have it set up so that it's a one-shot layer. So check this out. Hold it and it stays in the layer. Tap it and it's available for a single key press. Or double tap it and it locks and you're on that other layer. That's pretty cool. Tap it again and it goes back to the previous layer. Nice, right? That's pretty cool. But you need to have the other layer set up as transparent. Which is different. Zinnia, hello. Fun to catch me live. That's great. And you've been enjoying the WordPress videos. Thank you. We're going to get into the code in just a minute here. So I've got create the 2 panels. McNets with the resub. Thank you so much.
Just resubscribed for 15 months. The C# keyboardist.
Thank you. Builder asks, oh, that was a resub. Thank you so much for that support. Much appreciate. But Builder asks, how much time have I spent setting up the layers? I spent maybe an hour up front setting up the layers. I'll spend about 5-10 minutes every now and again tweaking and moving 1 or 2 keys around every now and again. I'm purposely spending a little bit more time talking it through with you as I'm laying these out because I want to make sure folks understand what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'd set these up in, just a couple minutes. So let me see. I want to go, what do I want to do? Oh, I've mentioned before, this is my super 1 key. This does cut, copy, paste all on 1 key.
Just
Blazer Mr. Magoo.
76 months. 76. Hello.
Thank you so much, my friend. I think that's the longest support. Much appreciate. Thank you very much for 76 months of support here on the channel. That's okay, Atrum. I see so much of today's tech and systems and stuff being so incredibly slow and awful performance. Take a look at Redis. Give it a try. You just spin it up, add it in with .NET Aspire, and it doesn't cost you any time to do that. It'll run in a container, and you'll see what it's capable of doing. Is there the ability to export and import layers from other users? Yes. It is not there. Come here. Down here. Yeah, go ahead, save the changes. Down in here, backups. Restore backup from file, restore from last backup. So you can send stuff out into the world. But there is an export, load single layer, share selected layer. There you go. So you can push those out. And these are just JSON files on disk. So here we go. So where was I? I was over, nope, not that one. Like, right, like I forget that's oh yeah, these are the change desktop buttons. So I can change, right, while I'm over here, I can flip back and forth between desktops easily in Linux with that. The left Linux, I don't know about that. I don't know what that one is either. Why those are down there. Who would do that? Yeah. So let me go back. It was on 2. So if I want to add another, so I've got the split. Let's make this the close. So create another macro. Tmux, close, pane. Right, we know that's Control A, Control W. Cool. Save that. Back over here into layer 2. There we go. And this one I will wire up as Tmux close pane. There we go. But I want to put that on a color, and we'll make it like that. So now over here, right, I can jump in here and I can create as many panes as I want. And oh, it's not closing. Boo. Right, so I think I have, that's not right. You know what? It's just Control A W. It's not Control A, Control W. Okay, we can fix that macro. Back over to the macros. Macros. This. Change that name because that doesn't mix with the rest of it. Okay. So I can move this over here. Save that change. So create and split, and then I can, there we go. Now it closes. All right. So I got it. Hey, Graham Weldon. Hello. Thank you so much. Look at that celebration cheer. Much appreciate the effect. How's it going there, Graham? Great to see you. I do have some of the cheer effects enabled if you want to go through and set those up and have fun with them in chat. Thank you. Thank you. The last thing that I want to do is be able to create new windows and navigate around windows. So that, right, that's a Control A, C. And then to close them is the same Control A, W, which I've already got wired up. I've already got wired up down here. So to create new windows, where do we want to put that? I could put it down here, right? On this key. What would normally be the B key. So let's go back over this. So let's call this TX new window. So record the macro. All right. So it's Control A, C. Pause. Add to timeline. Save that back over here. Off to layer 2. And if I want to put it here, macros. And let's put a color with that. And let's make that one. Nah, not that color. Sure. All right. So hold that down, and there we go. And I can close those. Awesome. A beekeeper? Oh, please. This keyboard would be better if it behaved similar way as the Elgato Stream Deck and buttons had small LCDs. Ice cream stick model, I was thinking the same thing. I would love if there were little LCDs on these that we could see exactly what that is. I agree, but for a premium keyboard already to add that type of capability would make this like a $5,000 keyboard. The Stream Deck actually is one. If you take the facade off of it, it's actually one screen, and it segments the screen into the size of whatever size it is, right? So, I might have a couple of Stream Decks here in front of me, right? So this is just one screen with buttons that happen to be right on top of that location of the screen. So, right, it's not actually a button with a screen in it. It's one screen that has a button on top of it. So, I think that's all I want to do for now with getting Tmux set up with this. Right, I still can do, right, some of these things by hand that I need an accelerator for. Maybe I should at least wire up the Control A. So it's a hotkey that's out there. Like, I don't know what that star M is. Maybe I can wire up this one that isn't used right now, so it's Control A to start a process. Right, so if I don't need to be on layer 2 then. Maybe that'll actually be enough to just make it a little bit more, a little bit easier to use. So if I take that as A and Control A, right, that's how I access and get into these. Right, so I can. It feels kind of weird, but it's this key just feels weird to my left hand. But get a feet keyboard. Elgato has one. Have you seen this? Elgato has one. Right, there it is. Take me to the actual thing. Yeah. So, that is a thing. Right? Like, organists must love that. Right, so you're doing whatever, and right, there's 3 buttons on it. Like, okay. Yeah, there you go. Right. So she's playing an instrument, and she's got the ability to control stuff right there on her feet. So. Oh, Mr. Magoo. It's been snowing there? Oh. That's it for today's coffee. I guess we need to get productive now. All right. So, there you go. We're working on this. I want to talk about, starting to add localization capabilities. So MDE Bruin, is that Mythin? Do I have that right? Started adding translations for the various pages inside the application. inside the application framework. This is something that I don't think we spend enough time talking about. We, Microsoft, spend enough time talking about, because there's a lot of folks around the world who need this feature, and we don't talk about it. Pretty proud of that dad joke? Really? Really? Anyways, let me jump over here. Let me jump into now come on. There we go. Still doesn't have that. It's got to be the vote sticker. It's got to be the vote sticker up here. The program more is running in this session. Do I want to see? Even if I put it there, like, you can't see it. You can't see it. Like, I'll put it way up there. There you go. Still, it's hard to see. Like, all right, that's at least a little bit better, and you can see it. But whatever. Like, I'm not going to stick it right here. Yeah, go ahead, close that. That's fine. Where was I? Working on page. Yeah. So, right? Open another screen. Oh, I closed it. That's not the right one. Right. CD dev. Okay. Which one was it? I thought it was. Yeah, there it is. And over here, I'll actually have it running. Right. Yeah, outpost. There we go. So we'll just .NET watch, launch profile, and away it goes. So, yeah. And it did not give, no. .NET run, launch profile, HTTP. There's the login code. So now if I go back over here, cancel that, and that one should let me in, and we should be able to get in and wander around on this. Close that one. There it is. So, and there's the first post and stuff from the site. So, the token is 12345. No, that's not that token. Ow! I do need to always have something in my hands to drink. I do. So we're going to stick in Linux for a bit. Because why not? It's been fun. We've been learning. I don't have a command, Scott. How you doing, Scott? Thursday last week, when I did for those of you that didn't tune in, I see some folks here like Scott who were there. I did I did Azure Static Web Day and gave the closing keynote. Yeah, no, not quite. But I did the Azure Static Web Day where I talked about the story of ClipTalk and told the story of how we made architecture decisions, how we built things, how it grew, and eventually how it ended. And I was amazed by the positive feedback for that session. Thank you to the folks that tuned in. The video is available on YouTube. You can go out there and check it out. But I've gotten some feedback that I need to turn. I should turn that into either some blog posts, a YouTube video, a presentation. Need to figure out what to do. Is it online? Yeah, it's on the tube of views. Right? Azure Static Web Day. There we go. Don't do that? Okay. Here it was. It's not cut from it, but if you jump in here at about... There I am. Jump in at about the 5-hour mark. There you go. You see Thindall and our friend Stacy Clouds. There you go. So my tube space. Yeah, there you go. My tube, used tubes, all the tubeses. So, and you can see me talk about, right? And I didn't do any designing of these slides at all, but I wanted to make sure that I told it as a story. The growth, the I don't want to say success, but how it was running and then how it shut down. So you can certainly check that out. Azure Static Web App Day. Let's help Stacy out and give it a bunch more views if you can. All right. I can't copy this across to chat because I'm over here on the Linux machine. So that is a Thindall. Yep. So we want some Chivos for our friend Stacy over there. So we started with this idea of no, hang on. Hang on. I'm all over the place now. Hang on. We're not building pages just yet. I want to back up. So we have a couple very simple interactions on the page that we can interact with, right? Some links, some buttons. No, it's not on mine. It's on Azure Static Web App Day. Car accident. So we started on, thank you, Code with Sean, appreciate it. Mythin started putting together the ability to do resources for the site. And when we look at the files here, right, added some things. It looks like version 8, but a string localizer to start formatting and placing content for the admin page, right? For the list of posts, right? There's still some translations here that we could drop in to get the current culture on the app and be able to present some of this information. You're most of the way there. So it was a 6-hour event. Go out to about the 5th hour and you'll find me. And a language picker component that will get added into the mix there. So, main layout with a localizer for the unhandled exception, nav menu, with the language picker down here at the bottom. So, the about page with some localized information to get things started. So, to get us moving in that direction to start being able to support this, I'm on board with that. So I allowed it to build, and it looks like it built properly. So we're gonna let's merge this in, take a look at how it's working, and there's 1 or 2 pieces there that we're going to update. So maybe an extension method so we don't have to hard code the prefix all over the place. That's a fine suggestion, Billy. Fine suggestion. So let's merge this in. And there we go. And let's grab oh, come on now. Really? MDE Bruin 93. Fine. Here. Really? You were supposed to... Wait, what? No. All contributors, please add as a code contributor. No, I'm not closing. Just commenting. All right. So let's take a look. So, see, I don't have a key to navigate between these, but I do have my Control A key here, so I can do next and previous. Have a good one, Sean. Have a good one. So let's open. No. Git checkout. Main. Git pull up. Streaming. Cool. And let's take a look at what we have here. And we can tweak and tune this a little bit. So, hey, look, release notes. That's wonderful. That's great. Thanks so much, fellas. Appreciate it. Can I do anything like pre-render a web page with a set of aspect ratios to improve draw times? That's what the browser does. What we can do is we can force exact dimensions of things. And you see people do that when you go to a web page and it's just like a column in the middle. They force the width of that and they forced the size of images and things, and that will help with render times. So, what are you doing over here? Go ahead and restart. Go ahead, you do that. Where was I? So here, I don't think it actually restarted. So go ahead and restart. Cool. Good. You can restart too. There it is. So this should restart, and there we've got our little pill that shows the language versions. Okay. I see it changing the culture up here. I don't see it changing. Oh, there we go. All right. All right. There we go. Not bad. I think we're going to want this. First off, some things that I'm seeing in chat. Let's kind of work through this. I think we'd like this to be a pointer, right? The finger pointer, just like if it was a hyperlink, to indicate that these are live. That said, though, I think we'd like this to be a drop-down, because I suspect that this is going to fill up with more than just 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 languages. I think ClipTalk had 20-some languages at its height. It has to be. Thank you for the follow. So I think we're going to want to make that a drop-down, and we'll move that somewhere appropriate as the layout grows, right? We're missing some translations for these menu items over here. Not terrible. The word posts, we not knowing what's the NL. NL's it's not Norwegian. What's NL? Help me out, chat. Netherlands. Okay. While that might not change in Dutch, right? It is going to change in other languages, so we're probably going to want that text to be swapped in as well. But as a start to start to lay the foundation for other folks to be able to contribute and add features. I'm okay with this. I'm very okay with this, right? Let's get us right. Every great accomplishment starts with a nudge and a push, and getting us pushed in that direction, very much on board with. I think we also need to take a look at we're going to need to take a look at detecting what language and setting a reasonable default, persisting a preference if you choose to override. Great, your browser is configured for Dutch. We're going to by default give you Dutch, but if you choose to override and say, give me the American English, let it save that preference and load and use that preference. Somebody provided the translation for us. So let's jump in here, take a look at, let's start with looking, well, hang on. Let's do this. Let's get over here and let's create a branch. I don't want to call this fix, but I think that's okay to start with. Let's say more localization, because this is a good start, and we're going to add more to this. So let me wire that up so I have a branch. With letting admins set supported languages be a thing in the future, Zinnia, that sounds like a fine feature. Can you do me a favor? Let's open that as an issue in the repository so we can discuss that and plan for that in the future. I think that's a fine feature to discuss and plan for. We'll see. You're planning an app for your local dog training company. It should be able to run as an app on iOS and Android. As I have no clue about app dev, I'm leaning towards Blazor WebAssembly. Is it a good fit to run as a PWA? I don't know what features you're looking to build. PWA is certainly easy to do and deploy to those two. Yes. What features are you looking for? That'll help steer if that's the correct answer or not for you. So I'm going to start off looking at that pill component for the language picker. For right now, I'm okay with this being a series of pills, right? Localization, supported cultures. So where is that coming from? Request localization options. Right, that's being injected from somewhere. So here's locales. Are you setting that somewhere? Where is that coming in from? Add localization locales. There they are, supported cultures. And it's being defined here. I appreciate that. Have a good one, Robert Steffen. Thank you so much. Let's do this. I like to avoid folks customizing Program CS. Program CS is kind of like the entry point where a lot of stuff happens. Let's go over to locales and let's add an extension class over there that sets up these three. These two lines, right? Builder services configure, builder services add localization. Let's put them, yeah, right? Add use request localization. That's cool. And I think there's an overload in there we want. So yeah, let's take this. Let's add a class over here in locales. And I'm just going to call this, I don't want to call it configuration. Yeah, sure, configuration. That sounds just stupid enough. Namespace. Come on, you're going to suggest me a namespace? No. Ooh, boy, look at that. That's pretty close to what I was looking for from Copilot. Let's take a quick look here. Public static void, configure request localization, taking in the web application builder, and just moved over services. Configure, add localization. Here's what I want to do to kind of isolate this a little bit more. I want to take this supported cultures, right? Hang on, you. Like, yeah, get rid of that, move this over, and let's go to the end. No, go to the end there, and get rid of that. And what is it? Control Shift I. There we go. All right. So let's create in here. Public. It's a string array. Can I make it a constant? Can I do that? Like that. Really, you're not going to let me do that? Fine. Read only static string. There we go. So, because what I'd like to be able to do, and you saw a little bit of this when we did Clip Top. I want to be able to organize that so it's easy to just reach in and there they are. Eliphase, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Hi. How you doing? We're doing some localization stuff here. So for our Blazor application. So I'm going to yank that. And we can just change this. Come here. Just do, yeah, that. Really? I told you to do that. Do it. Thank you. Come down here, do the same thing. Right? There we go. And, right? So now, because I have this over here, right, I'm isolating a little bit on this. So I should be able to say configure request localization instead of these lines here. Right? Delete that, add that, and I will get a... Sure, go ahead. Really? Really? No. There's a using statement I need there that you don't have. Sharp site, web, locales. And sharp site, web, locales, public static class configuration. Oh. There we go. Add the custom localization features for the application framework. Right. So what I like about this is we've moved everything over so it's inside that one class to do the configuration, and it makes program a lot cleaner here, so we don't have a lot of configuration things. Granted, I'm going to see things moving around and back and forth here, right, if I actually need to navigate through this. But at a high level, I can read through this easily top to bottom and see what's going on here. I can add, right? Right? I can take that. Heck, let's put it right on here. Right, put it right there. I don't need... Right, that wasn't configured. Good. Okay. Let's also, just for the sake of making this... yeah, that's fine. I'll leave that there. It's only one line right now. So that gets a little bit cleaner. What about putting that list in app settings JSON? The problem with that I have with putting in app settings JSON is then somebody can modify app settings JSON and add a reference to a localization file that doesn't exist. And when the compilation happens and the deployment happens, everything's packaged. You won't be able to add resources on the fly. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with kind of binary coupling that together. That's okay. Right, so now I've got, because I moved that into, right, so now I mouse over and I get the tooltip there too. Okay. So let's go back over. I wanted to look at that so we can start adding more shared resources here as well. And I thought there was an editor, a resx editor for these. Isn't there a resx editor? Dominic Vonk. Tim Hewer. What do you got for me, Tim? So, and what's the other one look like? That's basically the same thing. Okay. So if I close that, let's go and reopen. There we go. So, not bad. All right. Wire culture is always referenced as strings. Why not add an enum, locales, enus? They are available as an enum. They are. No, what is it? System globalization, culture types. Those are the types. They're not specified. You can't access. I don't think you can access them through the base class library because it actually loads the cultures based on the system that you're running on. So, right now, when that's loaded, we go over to, where's the pill component? Right? Language picker. It's calling a set culture method, and it's returning a string. Oh, as the href and navigating there. Okay. If that's an anchor, it should be. Oh, you know what? It doesn't have a. It doesn't have a an href, so it doesn't have a pointer. Isn't it like? What's the? Let me come back to that Goku Jax. What's the bootstrap? Bootstrap pointer class. I forget what it's called. Will button do that? Span class badge rounded pill. I don't want to. Blah 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 blah. Adding role equals button. Really? Role equals. There we go. Well, that was easy. Okay. And notice the question mark culture equals. Right. Yeah, I didn't know roll button either. And now you know. Right? Oh,
you didn't know?
That's not it. And now you know. The more you know. So that was easier than I thought. Heck of a lot easier than I thought. All right. What else? So we've got that. Oh, I wanted to add for these three. Let's add translations for those. The other question about using JSON like we did for Clip Talk. I could do that. Let's roll with the resx for now. That's the direction we started down here. Let's do that. All contributors put together and added a pull request for MD Bruin. Oh, good. All right. There you go. Thank you. Yes, delete the branch. All right. So there we go. MD Bruin now is on the list of contributors. So let's add these couple extra resources here. It has to be asks, has anyone encountered a problem where you create a new app settings JSON file, start adding your connection string, but your code can't find it? It needs to be in, there's a connection strings cluster, a group there that it needs to be in. App settings JSON by default should copy latest to the output. Take a look in your CSproj file and see if there's an action set up to it. Right? Right. These are embedded resources, so they get compiled into the code. Take a look and... Oh. Ouch. That's going to hurt. We'll wait and see on that. Yeah, make sure it isn't, like, you see the remove here? Make sure it's not listed in there with remove. It shouldn't be listed in here at all. You notice app settings, my app settings is not in this file at all. And it, by default, it automatically gets copied over. When you add a new app settings file, it will add it to CSproj by default. So take a look, yank that if it's in there. You do database localizations in the database with caching, and you can dynamically change them, and it allows AI to create new cultures without you doing anything. Interesting. You're going to, in this case, where we're going to be packaging and deploying this as a container, I need to seed the database with some initial data then. So I get what you're saying, Scott, and if I was doing that for a distributed application that was delivered in one place, I'd be with you. But as a portable application that I want folks to be able to run inside of a container, locally, remotely, on a cloud, on-prem, I think packaging an initial set is a good way to go. And I think there's ways for us to generate the ResX using AI, using ChatGPT. ChatGPT? Wasn't that the name of Pinocchio's conscience? No, that was the name of Pinocchio's AI conscience. ChatGPT Cricket. Yeah. So. Oh, I must have said containers. How are you doing there, Robert Tables? Hello, hello. It has to be, yeah. All right. Where was I? So we may have to update this a little bit. Happy Tuesday to you, my friend. Our 2 years of presidential campaigning here in the United States is almost over. I was saying this morning, I was sitting outside with Mrs. C. Sharp Fritz waiting to go in and vote. I was saying to her, I can't wait for tomorrow when I can watch the morning local news, and instead of every commercial being flooded with presidential campaign commercials, you don't want to vote for candidate X because they like to whatever. They like to do evil things. They steal money from your kids. They keep poor children hungry at night. Like awful, evil things that they're saying. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. The cheesy local auto dealer is going to have his commercials back on TV. I miss Jeff D'Ambrosio and his cheesy local commercials that were on morning television around here. Like, man, I missed your bald head. And the guys that are just all too excited to sell me a Jeep Durango. Like, that's a thing. The as seen on TV infomercials. I miss those. Sell me a Floby, damn it. And stop telling me about, about President so-and-so is keeping immigrants at the border illegally. What? They've gone over the top. And don't get me wrong. Like, the local television stations, they've literally sold enough of their advertising budget that they don't have to sell advertising for the next year. They've profited so much from the campaign commercials. That's right. Candidate Bob for the Senate has been killing and eating dogs. What? Are you kidding? You don't even live in a swing state and you're sick of the ads? Oh, it is awful around here, old, bald, and grumpy. You want some? Yeah, let's get back into seeing Flobies being presented. Campaigns go on far too long here. So, Lorsair, I think what compounded the problem was the one candidate was upset that he lost in 2020 and literally went right in January 2021, after he departed office, literally went right into campaign mode. Immediately into campaign mode and didn't stop rallies. That's your prerogative. That's up to you. But literally made it not a year of campaigning for president in 2024, but made it because it didn't stop from the previous year. We've been going through 5 years of campaigning for president with this guy. Like, dude, I get it. You want the office. Dude. Can we breathe and do something else for a little bit? We've literally been seeing campaign ads for you since 2023. I get it. You want to be elected. You only get adverts on the BBC about BBC? Phil! Thank you so much for the cheer. Don't vote
Phil
for candidate.
Bessie cheered 100. Don't vote for candidate X as they are evil as they have common sense. D.
Thank you so much. Darn it, why didn't it pull that hat off again? The equivalent here is PBS. Yeah, it is. Why hover car and not hover hat? So, right, we've got the little .NET bot cars. Have you seen these? These are squishy. If you've been to a .NET Conf local event in the last year, you might have gotten one of these. Have you seen these out there, chat room? I might have stumbled into a very large collection. This is the .NET 8 race car. Have you seen these? Robert Tables, are you jealous of the .NET folks? Because we have our mascot driving a race car. Look at that. You haven't seen these? So I will be at Microsoft Ignite in 2 weeks. I'll have a bunch of these with me. If you find me at Microsoft Ignite, I'll be at the .NET Applications, Azure Applications booth for a good bit of the week. If you find me there, mention the stream and I'll give you one of these. All right. And I'm going to be at Svetug coming up in February. I'm going to bring a bunch of these, and I've got some other swag I'm going to be bringing as well. And I need to work out some details. I'm going to try and give away some of this swag live on stream. So, event idea, Battle Royale Dodgeball, where those .NET cars are the only projectiles allowed. I'll allow it. That sounds interesting. Okay. Where is Ignite? Chicago. Won't be able to make it. Can you toss one through the screen, do you? Missed. And now it's behind. Am I going to PAX U? PAX Unplugged. Going for the first time. Staying with Rex. Gosh, I haven't heard anything from Rex in years. When is PAX Unplugged? Help me out with that. Now that is behind my... I need to remember to go get it later. Next conference you're looking forward to is .NET Conf. That's next week. Ramtenna, hello. Let me see here. Keep an eye on things. Okay. December 6th, 7, and 8. I'm around. Let me see. Like, I'm off the entire month of December. If you, sir, are coming to my town, I have got to make an appointment to connect with you, grab dinner. Oh, my God. My friend, we've been friends literally for 5-6 years, and we have never met in person. Ugh, we got to make that. So, yeah, let's catch up on Discord and try and make something happen there. All right, let me go back over to the code. Let's do some more with this. Look, how's that for a keyboard? I know, Robert Tables, you are a connoisseur of keyboards. How's that for a keyboard? Hey, Gavin's awful stream. Can't be that awful. Welcome in. Hello. All right, so I've got the button there. I feel like we should do an order buy on this. Big fan of split keyboards. And the layers, the layers on it are really, really good. My keyboard looks like a pair of mittens. Yes, it does. It does. You're right. Can I do an order by on this? Right, order by. All right. And we're going to do a thing like this. And we're going to order by culture, something. And where'd you go? Kind of scrolled off. Order by display name. No. Can we do order by abbreviation? Is there like an abbreviation? The language tag? Let's try that. Right? Because that language tag is a string. Yeah, that's not bad. Looks like it's still working. Cool. You thought they were gloves? No. Oh, look at that. Yeah, this is the Digma Defy, and you can see there's USB-C cables right here that it's connected with, but I could disconnect them and go on wireless mode as well. No, not Glove 80. Gloves! You know, gloves. So, I haven't gotten the tilt. The tilt isn't me yet. And I've started developing a bad habit going from the Defy with the split keyboard to a laptop. I'm starting to run into that issue switching back and forth. That's weird. All right. I need to add some more. You know what I wanted to do here? So let's put this in here. Tab that over and this. Let's also put as a tooltip, as a title, right? The native, right? Yeah, there it is, native name. Right, that way. Come here, you. Yeah, reload, go ahead. Right, when I mouse over, see it says English United States. I mouse over this one, and it says Netherlands, right? So I hope I pronounced that right. Local for our Dutch friends. So we'll be able to start accepting other contributions for other languages here as that grows. We're going to want to put into our contributions document information about how to add additional languages. Episode 8. I don't know if I'm productive as so much as I've got a lot of content. How you doing, Frank? Great to see you. Where was I? So in the layout right now. No, that's not it. Nav menu. I'll leave Sharp Site as a title up top there because I think we're going to replace that with a logo at some point. But there's home here. We should probably replace home, right? And let's make sure we get the localizer correct here. Where is it? In particular, yeah. So there's the localizer. Inject iString localizer. And then it's a format like this. And there was a comment earlier, somebody was saying, hey, can we get rid of this Sharp Site bit here? That would be really good. So we can kind of force that. So... You can also inject the iString localizer inside imports. Can we do that? Well. Learned something new today. Great tip there, Scott. I like that. So then I can go back over here to nav menu, and for home, right, and now it just It moved. Right here, right? I can do localizer. No. That's not right. That's a mistake. Hide all that stuff. Back over here. Right? Sharp sight, home. And now I need to add home into my locales. I can get rid of you, get rid of this. Come back to that in a minute. There's back to home. So let's add sharp sight home. I hit enter. Enter comment? No, nothing. Hello? It didn't add anything, did it? No. It's not completing. Homepage link. Okay. So that gets me that. I need posts admin. Right, so I can get rid of this. Get rid of this. I'd really like to be able to put these side by side, but I'm kind of zoomed in a bit here. How about loading localization from database? Yeah, that came up, ice cream stick model. I'd still need to seed the database because I'm building an application framework. So generating these files for different locales, I think is within bounds here. No, that's not what I want. All right. Right, so I want posts admin. So sharp site, posts admin, paste that in. Link text to the posts admin page. Okay. And back over here. So now I can take that and go localizer. Yes. Okay, that helped. Implementing your own iString localizer is better long term, but it depends on the app size. You're not wrong. Not wrong at all. Let's get some basics in place, and that's definitely something to consider in the future. I think you're onto something there. So, sharp sight. Yeah. Link text for the about sharp sight page. Thank you. Just complete that text for me, and now I don't have to think about it. Key sharp sight about already exists? It does. Okay, cool. Then just use that. Where did, over here? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So on the... Just to finish the localization here. That's fine. The post list. Yeah, there it is. Let's just replace this. Right? Yeah, that works. Yeah. That should be it. Well, that's not going to work. Because it worked over there. Why isn't it working up? Is it posts admin? Is that what I did wrong there? Yeah. Feels bad, man. And coming back to the comment earlier about, be nice if... Yeah, there it goes. It is a job for Copilot. Totally a job for Copilot. To generate some of these. Absolutely agree. Naming things is indeed hard. Okay. I think I've got just those couple updates I wanted to do here. I don't know the Dutch implementations of those, but yep. Git commit. Polished up localization configuration. So it was a great start from Myth in there, and just put a little bit of polish on it to round it off. Let's also put an entry in contributing. I put together a contributing document that's sitting out here. There it is. Development setup, coding guidelines. Old location. What's chat? Old location. Well, it's ready disabled. Well, undisable it. Oh, I'm in Markdown. That's why. Okay. Rocket Duke, welcome in. Hello. We know someone who could help with Indonesian localization. Facts. Undisable. Yes, I'd like to undisable it. Ask Copilot. Here we go. Generate a section about adding translations for this project. Steps needed include adding a resx file with appropriate naming, as well as adding a, let me open the, yep, that's open, okay, and I want to be, as well as adding a entry for the locale in locales configuration CS. Let's see what it does. Coding guidelines, adding translations, add a regex file, update locales. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. Helpful. Do it. Add that thing. Right? Apply it. What are you doing? Adding translations. Navigate to the resources folder in the project. It's not the resources, it's locales. That's not quite the right name, but these are in yellow. Am I supposed to like approve or something? Don't you go away. I don't know what that is over there. Right, it's in, oh, there it is. Accept it, and we'll navigate to the, where'd it go? Locales. Sharp site, web, locales folder. Add a new regex with the appropriate, and it's called shared resource, is what we're doing right now. We'll figure that out. Right, as we need to add more features. Update locales configuration CS. It's not dictionary. That's not right. And we'll just we'll paste it right there. And we'll take this line and we'll just move it down, I think. And delete these, down one. No, too much, too much. I think that's it. Close that. There you go. And then verify. Yeah, I think that's it. Now it's probably complaining here because tabs versus spaces. Right. Fix all violations of that. Sure. No, don't. Go away. Fix it. And we'll put a quote there. But see, these need to be like scooted over. I guess that's right. Why is documentation so hard? Right now, what's this one crying about? I don't know. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Right, so let's see what that looks like. And over here, come here. It's a spacing issue. Right? CL2 is kind of... Yeah. So that's correct. This. That's better. All right. Put that in the mix. Added translation, instructions to contributing. That's not how you spell git push. There you go. Cool. Merge attempt failed. Cool. Close this. Close that. Close that for now. Close that. That. Okay. Git branch. Fix more localization. That's not how you spell that. I forgot the O. Git pull upstream main. Fantastic. The dance, the Mateposian dance of joy is complete, and we now have localization started for SharpSight. Nice. Okay. Next steps. Go back to working on this, adding static page objects. There's going to be some translations we're going to need to put in here also. That's okay. We'll get those features started. Yeah. Back over here. Where were we? I need to change branches. Let's merge in main. Okay. So there it is running. And if we look at the database, we should have our pages table out here. Come here. SharpSight, schemas, tables, pages. All right. And what columns do we have? ID, title, slug, and content. We don't have any order by yet. We don't have any publish, unpublish yet. We're just trying to get pages in there. We'll add additional features here. It has to be, as a huge Copilot fan, get projects done in a fraction of the time now. Very cool. Yeah, right? There's definitely something to say about the performance enhancement that working with Copilot gives you. It's not for everybody. There's folks that get frustrated with it, and I hear you. I feel that. Tuples out as a political statement? What? Copilot does do good grunt work. Stuff that, just go figure this out. Lob it in there and be happy with it. So I have pages. Pages work. I thought, did we have a, yeah, page repository. Is this all built? Yeah, okay. So that's available, and it is registering a page repository. Okay. So if I go to... If we go in here, so we have post admin, we have about... I think we want to have... in here... No. Insert a horizontal rule to separate the bottom two items in the menu. Okay, fine. You forgot how colorful PG Admin is? Yeah. SQL Server Management Studio? Nothing wrong. Did I see you can now change the model used by Copilot? I did see that. And I noticed it was prompting me for that. Like, edit settings, I'm guessing is where... I have it turned off on plain text markdown, some of these other formats. I don't see it here. Maybe I don't have that version. But I thought I saw it in... Copilot Chat, GPT-4. It's hiding here. So I can choose which model that I want to use. Control I and I'll have a little drop down. No. No. The Copilot inline. Is that... Stop it! I didn't want that. Right, so... Okay. And it is... Yeah, there's the drop-down jammy right there, and I can dictate to it also. What are you trying to do over here? No. So I want to inject on this.
Developers.
Vicky Parn, hello, welcome. I want to inject page repository. Can we? Thank you. And down here somewhere, this is the kind of thing that we're going to want to cache, so it's not constantly hitting the database. But to get us started, let's see what this looks like. So let's make this an IE-numerable, right? Yeah. Of type, yeah, there it was. Pages, there we go. I like that, I like that. We can do, enumerable empty page, like that. There you go. Page repository, no, it's get pages. All right, so now I've got the pages, so you're gonna figure out to put them in there? Oh, come on. Yes. Keep going. There we go, there's a start. Finish it off. Thank you. Give me a little bit more there. That's all you need. So why doesn't it like that? Cannot use it before it's declared. It's right there. That's okay, that's okay. I think that's an editor issue. Yeah, the compiled icon's hiding here behind my camera. Unclosed div? No, I think I'm okay. That div maps to that. That one's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Yeah. Right, we can even look at... Do not support mixed content. Component href. Page directive must not appear at the start of a line. Oh. I can't call it page because then I'm doing @page in the middle of this. That's a C#. That's a Razor keyword. So let's call this a...
Developers,
hey, thank you so much for the follow. Let's just call this P, just to make it easy to jump through here. Right? That's what it was upset about. And it doesn't... What's right there in code? So we should be okay with that. Right? Href. Okay. Fine. So we'll do $quote / oh, look at this. Can this be any more kludgy? Yeah, okay. And then quote, and then one of these. Good. Maze Fest, hello. There we go. Boom. Two different threads looking at the same DB context. Feels bad, man. This is... I'm hitting that same context. Yeah, see, I'm hitting it right there. And it's also in the... Yeah, it's inserting it there. Yeah, I'm not using DB context factory. Yep, it's the factory. So I forget how to do this. Is it IDB context factory? No. So then this becomes... I can do that, right? Why don't you like that? Yeah, because I didn't do the thing yet. So then in here, var context equals... And we'll just add the thing. Yep. Add the thing in all the places. Cool. Now I want to do format document. There we go. And I'll do the same thing over here. Where was it? Page. Right. What's good? How you doing there? I borrow. Serious question. How long did it take me to learn coding? I just was recently interested in doing this, so he started doing research. How long did it take? How long did it take me to get comfortable? Not long. You know, a couple days. But I've also been coding since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like with respect, I've been doing this a long time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I forgot to rename that to Context Factory. So, consequently, like, I can type and get into and write a lot of code quickly because I'm one of the olds. Right? I can talk and go through and live code things very confidently without any significant issues. Right? Come here, you. You shouldn't have any errors. What? IDB Context Factory. I need to change my registration now. Right? That's a... Because it's in the same scope. And it's running multiple times in presenting the page. Because they're running async. So it's creating... their scope, so it's creating one instance of each. Okay. Yeah, this... It's probably going to give me... I'm undo all the things. So that looks like it's running, and no. Try and go into it again. Yeah, bang. Some project building resources? What do you mean by project building resources? Like, give me some scope on that. Like, project building resources. What? This is scoped. It shouldn't be a problem injecting that. What the? Let me tell you, I'm kind of proud of the Fritz daughters. The two of them have been quite vocal in their support of Kamala Harris and going out there and doing their thing to move their preferred candidate forward. Happy to see them move forward and find their place, their voice in this process as they learn and they vote in their first presidential election. So agree or disagree with their politics, finding their voice and going out there and making it heard, that's job well done in my mind. DB content, stop it. Why am I getting the so DB context let's do this. Take this out of here. Right? Take that out of there. Let's create a constructor. No, it's still creating close. Let's no. It's not a redundant assignment. No. Let's do this. I've solved this before by putting in iService provider. Yes, and doing that. Ooh, boy. Which is so counterintuitive to the whole thing. No. No. Yes. Yep, do that. Thank you. Now, why don't you like that? Need a using statement? Fine. It's not an object. It's one of these. That's better. Right? And let's also make that read only. Right? Oh, it's already got a get there. Fine. But I can make that private. Really, it should be a field. Know what I'm saying? At which point I can make it read only. That should be better. Right? Yank that. Yes. Right, and we'll do this. Read only field, thank you. Give me my using statement. And once again, the code completion there is not right. All right, let's look at the rebuild. That looks like it's running properly. Go ahead and restart that. Are you kidding me? It's still second operation started on this context before a previous operation completed. All right, go back. We made these transient. I want them to be scoped. Now that should restart. Looks like it restarted. No. Man! Hang on. Hang on. This is getting required. We need to create a scope. so that we get a new instance. Right? Do that. Same one over here. There we go. One is page repository. They look close. They look close, Mudju. One is page repository. The other is post repository. I nearly made that mistake. Nearly. But you're on there. Okay. Next steps. I need an admin page so that we can create pages. Because right now, right there should be... I wanted some sort of a horizontal rule there, but it doesn't matter. It's a temporary site. Temporary looking thing for right now. But we can start working on a page admin page. So let's add new file. And let's call this page list razor. Sure. Right, that works. Nah, I don't know about that. Inject. Yep, page repository, sure. Sure, that looks good. Probably want a page title to go with that. Let's call this page admin, and even then localizer. Sharp site, right? Page admin, right? This one. Sharp site, page admin. Link text and title for the page admin page. That looks weird, but it works. There we go. What's that, Pratik? You got selected in a new company starting tomorrow. I have no idea. .NET Core backend. Core, they just asked me simple C# concepts like DI, object-oriented programming, error handling, Swagger use, and React.js, but I think I need to learn .NET backend with Postgres fast. Take a look at ASP.NET Core with APIs and minimal APIs. I have a series of videos on the and there's a series of videos from other folks on the .NET team on the .NET YouTube channel. You'll get through it in a couple hours and you'll get up to speed quickly. So, just home from an 11.5-hour Ninja Ola. Oh my goodness. Have a good one. That's a lot. Not gonna lie. Let's put this up here first because I want to put a page title. That's like, come here, you, right? Localizer. You're gonna get pushed into localizing things here. Sharp site, page admin, and boom. So I need next a list of pages, right? That's pretty good. Show a list of pages that are currently in use. Each page record should be a link to a edit page. Page? That sounds weird. Sounds bad in English, so I can't imagine it sounds too good in... You're going to put that as cards? Whatever. All right. Right, so we need to do this weird thing. Yes, that works. And look, it's even putting together a localizer for title content. Sure. For an edit button? Okay. I'm okay with that. No. Sure, delete page? Okay, that's fine. I'm on board with that. Yeah, we probably want something like that. Something like this. Okay. Yeah, one of them. Tell me more. We need a delete page. Can you generate a delete page for me? Fix using Copilot. Generating. Does not exist. Good. Do it. Fantastic. So that's a thing. So it just generated what this entire page is going to look like. Yeah, add a button to create a new page. That's a great idea. Can we have one of those? Yeah, like that. Right? So I need sharp sight new page and I need edit and delete. Okay, so let's go add those. Right? Sharp sight, edit. Edit text for yeah, for the edit link on admin pages. Sure, something like that, right? What else? Delete. Grab that over here, back down here, one of these, paste that in. Delete text for the delete link in admin pages. Last one. New page. Right. Paste that in. I think I got an extra space in there. Link text for the create new page. Link in the admin page list. Okay. Who? No. You're going to voicemail. Okay. I need a button now to get through to there. So let's go back over to nav menu. So language picker. Right, that's post admin. So let's add page admin right here. It was suggesting it, wasn't it? Oh man, are you kidding? Go ahead and reload that, John. Here we go. Show me what you got here. Unclosed div tag. There it is. Tab over here. Refresh. Page admin. Oh, really? Really? Good luck, Pratik. Well, DJB, we're going to get there. We're going to get to setting up authentication and authorization. We'll get there. Create a new imports inside and add authorize. Yes. Coding problem today was extracting XML JSON schema to C# converter from an open source platform into a CLI tool for use for developers. Copy paste all the logic, remove all the unnecessary things. Okay. 2 lines of reflection that adds missing XML types to JSON schema type. Oof. Yeah. But now the CLI tool works. Very cool. Oh my. Await repository get pages. So we're on page list. And it's going and getting the list of pages again. Bang. I'm creating a scope here and going and getting it. It's right there. It's right here. Because it's creating. If I make these transient. There we go. And this should go to edit page, which doesn't exist yet. Let me park what I've got right now. Because we've added a lot already. Adding UI and cleaning up multiple instances of EF context. Push that out. So when registering DB context, is there a second parameter for globally setting the lifetime? It sets it by default to scoped. So this is a special instance of it that's configured to add the so I can pass in, right, and do more with this if I want to, right? Come on now, config. I don't think. Yeah. So there is. If I go back up here, go back over here. Yeah. I can move it around. I can add interceptors, but no. Just get it working. So this syntax also adds open telemetry around it, as well as retry resilience logic, so that it will do additional logging with open telemetry, as well as add metrics to it as well. So if we go back over, we can see in the traces. So there's the migration service migrating the database. Get admin pages. There it is. We can see the database query. And I can scroll down. I can see the connection string. I can see the actual statement that's executed for it. I have all of this available to me. And we can dive into the metrics as well. Right. There we go. And I can see in a cool graph exactly how it's running. There's an options property on the config. Okay. So, right, I can, where is it? I thought there was a connections usage. There you go. How many connections to the database are in use? So, I thought there was, right, a way to say this is a context pool here. Is it on the first configure or the second configure, SCOD? Right, because there's configure settings and then there's configure DB context options. Right. Yo. Settings. No. Config. Options. I don't see a way to change what's freeze. No, that's not it either. Maybe ask Copilot. It's already scoped. This configures a scoped instance. Like, we know that. So, yeah. But, right, because I'm using the OpenTelemetry version of this, right? Max connections. 100 connections! But only 2 are actually in use. See, the connection pool sets up 100 connections. Yeah, so add DB context adds the database context in a scoped scoped scope. I hate saying that, but that's the term they use. And the add NPG SQL DB context is a .NET Aspire enhanced version of this that also configures OpenTelemetry, configures for distributed tracing, configures logging, configures metrics reporting, and configures resiliency in it. So if for some reason the database went away, it'll retry automatically. That's important, right? And I get all of that by just changing the syntax of what I'm calling. Done. Yes, please do that. I want that, right? Getting this extra set of metrics here gives me that insight into exactly what's going on there, right? So, yeah, there we go. There's the command duration. And look, it's less than 0.005 of a second. Like, do it. But we'll eventually output cache some of these things or in-memory cache them so that it's not an issue. In fact, let's put in-memory cache into play. Can we do that with page repository? Because pages doesn't change that often, right? Can we add memory? Let's just say cache. No, that's not. I'm. Thank you. Service provider, not iCache, but memory cache. Tell me you got it. Tell me I can do that. Oh, good. Good. Create a read-only copy of that. Yeah, generate read-only field. Cool. So then, when I can put a cache of those pages in the iMemory cache so that it's just up to date, right? Right down here I can say, yeah, just do that. Right? Delete page, context pages remove, save changes. And clear it out. Check if the page is in the cache. Yeah. Why don't you like that? Converting null literal or possible null literal. Well, that's okay, because if it fails, it's not going to be null. So I'm going to do that. Where is it over here? I think I'm... Oh. Can we just put sprinkle some of these things around here and just be done with it? Here, go fix that. Yeah, suppress that. Sure. And this over here is possible null reference. Well, it's not going to be null if it actually got a thing out of it. So we're okay with that. So if it's there, return it. Otherwise, get the page. Yeah. Check if the pages are in cache. If it is, return to the thing. More of the nullability deal. What? Yes. Suppress it. But I don't want to just try get. Hey, hello. IEnumerable page? Question mark. You're talking about doing this. Can I yank that? That works. But even then, I don't think that's... Nope. And that will be something. Because it passed. Return pages. Interesting. Where'd it go? That first or default is okay because it'll return default, which will be null. This one down here, I see what you're saying about going something like this. And then I can do that. Nice syntax. I think what I want to do is return cache. It's like get or create. There it is. Get or create async. There it is. I don't think that's the correct syntax. No, go away. I didn't want you. I'm okay with that. As notes tracking to list. That's... What's the error here? Yeah, this thing isn't... go away. Absolute expiration relative to now is what? It's a time span. Now, why doesn't it like that? Oh, it's returning an IEnumerable. It's trying to return an IEnumerable, and I'm returning list here. Can we say as async? No, not. I think we were okay. Really? To list async. But we got to put a... No, it had the right thing there, right? It was as enumerable. If I return the... I need to return the await on it. That's still not going to completely get it. Right? So go in here, put this on here, and then do as enumerable. What? I need to put the select on this. Come here. Seriously. I'm growing tired of you constantly appearing here, Copilot, when I don't want you to. Here we go. Right. Come on, cast it. No? Page. P. Now, it's doing that conversion. And it still doesn't like it. Why? I have no idea what you're complaining about. Fix it. Do I need the async for the delegate? It is async on it. So, no, Copilot can't figure it out either. Fix this. Oh, okay. Then do that. Parentheses can be... Fine, do that too. Now what are you upset about? Still not showing me the error. Possible null reference. You don't like that now. Still doesn't like that. Why? Why are you being so difficult? Just fix it. Just make this go away. I don't care. No. Shut up. Like, don't get me wrong. I appreciate that you're helping me out. No. The async in the delegate is loading it from the database. Right? Like, so this down here, let's say no. Then I can do and I don't need a toList async there. I can just do toList. That simplifies things. What type is context.pages? That's a PG page. That's a DB set. So I'm doing as no tracking on it. Select to cast it to the abstract view model type. And then toList. Do you think it's complaining about the result of get or create async? So the result of that is a list of type page, which it's okay with returning. It's escaping a possible null reference. Right? So down here where just stop it. No. Can I get rid of that now? Ah, there it is. Okay. In which case, do I really need that? Can I just do... Right? And can I do the same thing here? Why are you putting an extra square bracket in there? So now let's see that. Use IEnumerable empty page. I think you mean we can do just right. Enumerable empty page like that. My understanding was that the double brackets did that. I could be wrong, but there it is. What? Enumerable. Enumerable. Spelled it right, Fritz. Nope. Oh, I didn't add memory cache yet. Back over here. Nope, this one. Builder services, add memory cache. I don't think I need to use memory cache, do I? There we go. So now it's not loading each time, right? So I still need to do the edit page, but it's putting the pages into memory and not hitting the database each time. So, right, if we look at the trace, there we go. So there it loaded the posts. Going into the list of pages, it didn't go get pages again. It just looked at what was in memory instead of reloading. So, cool. What do we update there? Yeah. Added memory cache for pages since they don't change frequently. So what we still need to do, we need to finish the admin page, and then we need to start allocating and building the actual page that will produce and show here's that content that's been configured. But I'm out of time here today. Here's what I have on my schedule, and I think you're going to be happy to hear this, chat room. Yeah, I do need to wrap up and get going, because I think you're going to be happy to hear what I'm working on the rest of the day here today. I'm going to go grab some lunch, and then we're going to go and start setting up TagsApp for .NET Conf. You remember TagsApp? That's the application that we built live on stream that helps to capture messages for a specific hashtag on Twitter, on YouTube, on Mastodon, on Blue Sky, and Twitch and YouTube chat. Would watch and monitor those for a specific channel. We're going to go get that set up, get it all configured and ready to go for .NET Conf next week. Lots to configure there, lots to get into play and make sure that that's out there and running. And we're going to have, you're going to see something that some of you helped contribute with as part of .NET Conf, gathering messages and making them available for our speakers. Folks like Damian Edwards, David Fowler, and Steve Sanderson. They're going to be working with and interacting with code that you wrote as part of TagsApp live during .NET Conf. Am I using distributed cache or just in-memory cache? For right now, just in-memory cache. We can look at using distributed caching later when we bring in and do more with Redis. But for right now, I'm only focusing on one machine we can get more compelling and interesting with that later. Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network. Who else I can get you connected to that's maybe doing something fun out there. Taking a look around the horn here. I am going to send you over to... let's, oh, who do we bug? Who do we bug? Let's have some fun here. Let's go over to... let's go over to Bald Bearded Builder and go for a chill stream. Here comes the raid call, and we are going to Bald and Dangerous. That's actually John Galloway. Bald Bearded Builder. There we go. Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining. I will be back on Thursday for some more live coding, some more fun. Today, tomorrow, I'm setting up and getting ready for .NET Conf. Coming next week, I hope you join me for .NET Conf. It's going to be phenomenal. But until then, if you're watching on YouTube, check out the other videos that I have. It might be linked over here or over here, depending on which app you're using. And if you're watching on Twitch, get ready to say hi to my friend Michael Jolly as we raid the Bald Bearded Builder. Have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you might be. I wish you good health and good coding. Of course, if you're in the United States, get out and vote, all right? Take care.